1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon. Oh.
Between them, they've won a trophy. Now they all start departing one by one, especially the ones that you look up to and you think, as long as these guys are in the team, we're good. And I'm talking about recently departed Berchiese has gone to Arsenal, and then what's his name? The one that's gone to Manchester.
Mark Gay.
Mark Gay gone to City. Do you think that could have a slight morale dampening for the rest of the players there? Because you're thinking, well, hang on a minute. We used to go, we used to hang out and, talk about things or relationship or just about football. How we won this and won that. Now he's gone and the other one is gone. And Mateta almost left. And you're there just thinking, oh, should I go? Because I don't want to be the one that's there while everybody's moving away. Do you think it has any bearing on the morale of players?
Yeah, I do think it has a bearing on morale. I mean, I don't think the group at Palace, the group of players, the morale probably has never been higher, ever really, than it was after the cup final and leading up to last year's cup final. It was a joyful occasion for players and fans alike. And you could just see with the interviews and the sheer joy coming out of the players on the pitch afterwards and in the stands. It was a real merging of happiness and joy together. And of course, early in the season, then Eze went to Arsenal, and that in itself, obviously all teams lose players and some move on. That in itself may not necessarily affect morale too much because you've still got the nucleus of players. Of course, in January, we lost Mark Gay, again without replacement. We did get a replacement for Eze in the form of Jeremy Pino, who's a good player, but he's not quite the finished article of an Eze, but he's a very good player. And then we lost Mark. So I think what didn't help was then the manager was making comments in January expressing frustration about what the board of Palace hadn't done to replace players and to invest in the future. And that really seemed to, make a real problem for morale generally amongst fans, amongst the players, and it was obvious there were problems with the manager and the owners, the board and so on. So going from the raptures of last year's FA Cup win to this toxic almost situation there, that must undoubtedly have negatively affected the players. They must have felt that. And of course, it was in that period that Mateta said he wanted to go. He said it about 10 days from the end of the January transfer window, and it didn't materialise because he sort of kind of failed pretty much a medical, or they didn't want to do any more medicals. They just felt they wouldn't go ahead, the Italian team. So again, that kind of undermined some of the morale there, I'm sure, because Mateta was always kind of the grown-up toddler amongst the players. He was just bursting with energy and with excitement, like, as I say, like a great big toddler. And he was loved by the fans. I mean, I think some of that was a bit damaged. I think when he does go, if there is a farewell, he'll be wished well by people. But yeah, it's definitely not quite the same at the moment. And thankfully, I think Palace have done enough to avoid any relegation possibilities. They probably want another win or two, but they should get those. But yeah, to answer your question, I think when players leave, if you get enough of them.
Say hello to old Mimi, Dr. Gladys and Rose, three beautiful ladies who join us on our shows. There's one other bro, sometimes joins us on the show.
Leave, if you get enough of them leaving or wanting to leave, that spirit will be undermined. And of course, with the manager going, I think that has met other players like Kamada, who from Japanese. He's played with Glasner before, I think at Frankfurt, but one of Glasner's clubs. So he knew him. Now he's made it clear he's not going to stay. It's the end of his contract. So he's one. We could well lose Adam Walton because of he's done some pretty good displays. He's in the England squad, which has recently been announced, as was Eze, but he's now got an injury for 3 or 4 weeks. So he's been replaced by Harvey Barnes, I think. But Walton could well go. He's on the radar of even people like Real Madrid, let alone teams in this country. So I think us Palace fans are going to have to be prepared for a loss of 3 or 4 players who will have to be replaced, as the manager himself. I mean, I was reading yesterday that one of the people on the shortlist for manager is Iriola, the manager of Bournemouth. His contract runs out. Now, whether he would want to sort of step sideways, that we're next to each other, I think, in the Premier League. He's done a great job at Bournemouth, as Glasner basically did and has done at Palace. But whether he would want to come, he might want to come because Palace is rather nearer to London than Bournemouth. But that may or may not be a relevant factor. So I think being a football fan, and I've supported Palace for many years, you just get to know that nothing stays the same for very long. And in fact, you could say that's the same about life, isn't it? You know, we get into a happy, content, satisfied situation, and then something happens, not necessarily to spoil it, but things change. Life is all about change, and that's never more than the case in football. You cannot hang on to something for more than a fleeting moment. The fleeting moment of that, the joy of the final whistle of the FA Cup final. I know I've said about it before, but people still send round the BBC's radio and TV moment when the whistle went, and they were observing the fans, and even some of these people in the commentary boxes were jumping up and down. It was something, but it's like trying to hold, I don't know, water in your hand. You can't. Simple as that. It will fall through your fingers. And these moments have to be appreciated and loved at those moments. And that's, as I say, that's true of life. We have to realise that every moment, and there are particularly precious moments, which we have to try and hang on to, certainly in memory, because they pass. Getting a bit philosophical there.
Say hello to old Mimi, Dr. Gladys and Rose, 3 beautiful ladies who join us on our shows. There's one other bro, sometimes joins us on